One of y'all was one of your higher aspects was an Octurian. Another one was a Syrian. Another one asked them to school you about different things, and it's going to trip you out because you're really just teaching yourself. And then it gives you the ability to reach out into higher galaxies and higher star systems and things like that to get higher knowledge because you're dealing with your higher aspects. Okay? So I'm coming out here to really help people. This is not something that I have to do. This is something that, well, let me correct myself, because actually I have a soul contract that's forcing me to actually do this because this is what I agreed to. So it is something I have to do. But what I'm saying is that I can go about it a whole different kind of way. I don't have to be on social media to promote this. I ain't got to do none of that. Now, let's have a discussion about karma and soul contracts, because there are many different ones. First of all, your souls are created in Sirius A. Okay? That's where the souls come from. In your previous lifetime, there may be some people that are coming through my program, and I'll check to see if they have clearance to join the program. If it comes up they don't have clearance, 9 times out of 10, there's nothing I can do for them, or so I thought at the time. But then I might be told, tell the person what happened. Tell the person that they have soul contracts and they have obligations that they made in previous lifetimes, and they're still under that contract. Some soul contracts can be renegotiated. Some can be renegotiated, not all. Okay? So then I'll investigate to check to see, can this contract be renegotiated? It might come out like, it's a possibility that the contract can be renegotiated if the individual takes the time out to do their work and start looking at why they were looking for answers, looking to answers outside of themselves. Because I'm going to tell y'all something, 90% of the reason why people get into trouble is because they're always looking for their answers outside of themselves. Okay? They're always looking for answers outside of themselves. That's a dangerous position for you to be in, as looking for answers outside of yourself. Oh, I want power. Okay, well, why don't you know you have power from within? Because I've been beat down and I have nothing but live my life in poverty, and I've lived my life this, and this. Okay, so why aren't you doing shadow work to deal with the things that you never had an opportunity to deal with? Why would you seek out power outside of yourself but you're unhealed? I want you to be clear about something. The reason why you see a lot of people go dark is because they don't want to put in the work on themselves to heal themselves. So a lot of the people that are operating from a hurt space or from a dark space are people that never healed. So you want to be the person that wants to jump out there and get access to something that you never worked for. You know, there's an old saying that goes that basically, if you don't put in the work, then you don't deserve power. A person that doesn't do the work and they get access to power, let me tell you what that looks like. Have you seen the conditions and the minds of the people? Have you seen the people that have been living these wealthy, lavish lifestyles and how they're doing it? And have you seen the regular populace and how they deal with things? Have you seen those who are making plans for you without your knowledge, your permission, or your consent? Have you not seen certain agendas being pushed out here that doesn't seem like they're for the best interest of humanity? Have you not seen people being motivated by greed to play in a particular role? To go against their own people? Have you not saw that? Why do you think that's happening? It's happening because they're unhealed. It's happening because they wanted to get access to power, but they weren't healed. They skipped steps. So then you have a bunch of people. Can you imagine? Picture this, y'all. Picture this. A bunch of unhealed people running around here without their shadow work being done, without their karmic cycles being cleared, and they got access to all their powers. Picture that. How do you think that will look? How do you think this world will look? How do you think your city would look if you had a bunch of unhealed people having access to their powers and they're unhealed and they're in their karma? How do you think that's going to look? It'd be crazy. It's right, exactly, Spiritual Galaxy. It would be very, very crazy. Okay? It's not good. So, what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that we got to get out of this we got to get in. If you say that you're about unity and you say that you're about healing, then your actions have to line up with your words. And a lot of times the reason why your actions won't line up with your words is because you're unhealed. You're trying to fight something and you don't even know how to fight it, because what you don't realize is that you're fighting yourself, because you won't take the time out to sit down and just really cry the way that you need to. You won't set boundaries for yourself, but you'll give your energy out to everybody else and become bitter when that same energy isn't returned. This is what you'll do. Without you even having the knowledge or the wherewithal to understand that people only treat you according to the way that you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself with love and kindness and respect, and you set up boundaries for yourself and protect yourself, that is a very obvious sign of someone that really does love themselves. And what happens is the outer world or the people outside of you has to adjust to the new you. They have to adjust to you. They're not going to like it at first, especially if they've been crossing boundaries left and right, left and right, left and right, left and right. If a person continues to keep crossing your boundaries, you got to ask yourself, why are you allowing them to continue to keep crossing your boundaries? At some point, you have to let go. There should have been a consequence that was put in place for that individual. That's the first step to learning how to love yourself, as setting up boundaries. A lot of my lives now are going to be more healing based. I'm not concerned about all the craziness that's going on out here in the world today, because I understand those programs and what they are and what they're designed to do. Okay? Yes, it's a lot of craziness going on out here, but let me tell you something. It ain't happening for everybody. Not everybody's experiencing that. And you got to be careful what channel you decide you're going to tune yourself into, so you don't attract those experiences to you. You better be careful about the fear that you've been carrying around, so you don't attract those experiences to you. Everybody needs healing. That is right, Beyond 5D. That is correct. Everybody needs healing. So, when we start talking about you coming in to clear your cycles, you need people to guide you. You need assistance. But when it comes to the work that I'm doing, as far as on the level I'm doing it on, I am trained to be a quantum healing doctor. That's what I do. I come in and I heal on various different levels. This is just one of many things that I do. I've done surgeries. Man, you guys have no idea the stuff that I do to help people. Okay? A lot of things I've done. Now, and when I say surgeries, I'm not talking about I'm cutting your body up. I'm not cutting anything. I don't have to do that. But when you start getting into yourself and you start tapping into who you really are, because you too are also a healer, then you'll get certain access to things that you'll be able to do to not only help yourself, but help your family and help those around you. Aquarius is about elevation and enlightenment. But Aquarius is not no joke when it comes to you confronting with who you really are. Some of you guys are still operating on the old paradigm and you're not adjusting to the new energies on the planet. So it's driving you guys crazy. Some of you guys aren't even sleeping at night. Let's just put the cosmic wars over to the side. Let's just say that wasn't going on right now in the astral realm. Let's just say that wasn't going on. These frequencies that the sun is putting out right now all over this planet are designed to do several things. Activate your DNA, give you upgrades, expand your consciousness. So if you have an individual that's operating in their root chakra during this time period, you're going to see a bunch of people going crazy. So some of you guys are going to have to clear out your chakras. You're going to have to come up out of your base chakra. You're going to have to come up out of your sacral. You're going to have to come up out of your root chakra. Because see, everything that's being done agenda-wise is designed to keep you in those spaces. That's 3D. Eating meat, eating sugar, putting things in your body that's going to destroy your body because you don't love yourself. And I'm going to tell y'all something. When you see people that are out there destroying themselves through alcohol or destroying themselves through drugs, it's because their spirit was broken. They're not healed. They didn't know that there's other things out there that can heal them on a much higher level. They weren't told all these other things that existed. It didn't come into their awareness. It never came into their consciousness. Humanity has been set back for thousands of years by beings that have a different agenda for this planet and what they're trying to accomplish. And this is probably one of the only planets in the galaxy that's like this. So there are plenty of other galactic councils and federations and all types of things like that that are doing a lot of work to get rid of rogue elements so that humanity has a chance to evolve on its own without interference. If you're going to homeschool your child, teach your child about alchemy. Teach your child how to work with the elements. Teach your child about sacred geometry. Things like that. That's what these new schools are going to look like. It's going to look like that. There are programs that I'm currently looking at right now from pulling down out of the realms for children, where they can get in and they can, for parents that actually want to start getting their children schooled with higher knowledge and higher education, other than learning the English language, which is the top satanic language in the world. A language of spells. Learning how to speak a different language that's higher vibrational frequency, so when you speak things, it literally manifests itself immediately for you. Because now you're speaking a language that's high vibrational frequency and not low vibrational frequency. When you say I can't, or you already just put a spell on yourself and then you reinforce the spell. Say that I can and that I will. It's coming. It's about to happen. Things like that. So you can begin to start creating a particular energy to start drawing to yourself that will manifest what you need to manifest. But you got to be in the know and you got to remove the beliefs. Beliefs are nothing but programs. That's all they are, just programs. Programs designed to keep you in a squared box space that you never get out of, because you don't realize that the world is such more bigger and such more grander. Did you guys know the Earth has a total of 33 dimensions on it? Earth has a total of 33 dimensions on it. 33. You're only on a 3D. Let that sink in. And I talked about the various different dimensions, and when this planet Kai was originally created, I talked about how when they created the dimensions, how the realms went. You guys need to go check out that live I did on YouTube, because I don't want to go back down that road again. but it is up on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. But I talked about how the realms were higher, then went lower. So I even made a comment on one of my lives when I was talking about the fallen ones, and people didn't get it. People were putting a different connotation on what the fallen ones are. The fallen ones are simply the ones that fell. They fell in consciousness. So at one point in time, you were on the 999th dimension at one point in time. And then you just kept falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. Every time that you fall in consciousness, as you're falling in consciousness, you actually reincarnate as a different being from a different star system. Did you guys know that? Did y'all know that? So some of us may have been ancient God beings that may have fell in consciousness, right? And then as they're falling in consciousness, they're reincarnating as an Anunnaki, or they're reincarnating as something else. Whatever it is, you're just simply having these different experiences because you keep falling and falling and falling and falling in consciousness, creating karma for yourself. And then next thing you know, now you're reincarnated as a reptilian, or you're reincarnated as a draconian. When you start talking about those kind of beings right there, when you start talking about you reincarnating into the darker beings, that is actually your shadow self of the greater version of who you are. That's your shadow. Were y'all aware of that? All your shadow is just the rejected parts of yourself over a period of time. That's all your shadow is. So imagine you being all the way up here at the top, right? And then for whatever reason, you wanted to do something that you shouldn't have did, and you started falling down. So then you reincarnate, you're now a lesser being than what you was the first time. Let me drop science on y'all about this real quick. There are beings. Let me correct myself. There is a level under purgatory. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know there's also called minus dimensions? Minus dimension 1, minus dimension 2, minus dimension 3. Was y'all aware of that? Those aren't the places you want to be at. The first dimension ain't even where you want to be at. The second dimension you don't want to be at. The third dimension, you see what's going on in that, you don't want to be there either. The fourth dimension, that's the astral realm. Then there's the fifth dimension, and then on up. There are people out there that have done some heinous things to children, and they don't know that when they die, they're not even going to the void. They going, that's the hell that they were talking about in the Bible when they talked about that hell. That was the hell they were talking about, the one below purgatory. And the dimensions below that. So you have minus dimensions. Can you imagine that? So a lot of your celebrities and shit that you see out here now that's got all that fame and all that, they sign a contract, they sign their life away. It's a wrap for them. All of them. And they don't even know it. It's a wrap for them. Okay? So the people that you love to check out and you love to follow and that you love to listen to, you can best believe if they've done anything with that machine, if a machine is behind them, see, there's hidden languages within the contract that you can't see. So when you go into a situation and you're looking to get signed by a major label, or you're coming into Hollywood and you're looking to do some big things, let me be clear about something. There's a couple requirements that you will accept when you go down that road. One, you agree to being cloned. That's first thing. Okay? You agree to it. Two, if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain, they have the right to kill you. This is not a game. They will replace you. This ain't no game. And you will never ascend past, those people will never ascend past 3D. That's about as hard, that's about as high as those people will ever get in life ever again. Most of them don't even make it that high. So when you're out here and you're doing heinous things and you're causing yourself a bunch of karma, be clear about this. When you reincarnate again, you're going to be a lesser being than what you were when you were than you are in this lifetime. There are certain beings I know right now of people that ain't here no more, that people still idol and worship because their clone is in effect or their body double is in effect right now, right? When they reincarnate again, they're going to be ending up in a third world country in the worst possible conditions that there is. Some of them will. Some of them won't even make it out here. Some of them won't even make it to 3D. But and that's not, and those crimes are never forgiven. You can't work your way out of that. There are certain cosmic crimes that if you commit them, there's no coming back from that. You're damned. That's a real thing. When they talked about eternity, that's some real shit right there. You're damned. I'm not even trying to give you no religious rhetoric. I ain't even on that. I'm saying to you, there are cosmic laws that are put in place that when people participate in certain acts, they are damned forever. And they don't come up out of that. Now, I'm not talking about, you know, your passion killings and things like that. I'm not talking about that type of stuff, because you can actually kill somebody depending on the circumstances and still redeem yourself. Okay? I'm talking about, you know, the things that I can't talk about on Instagram. The things that you've known, you know, certain people to get involved in that you've heard about and you read about and stuff like that. Those kind of crimes. They ain't no coming back. They ain't coming back here. It's a wrap for them. Forever. When I defer to these individuals, I'm giving you an example of how far one can go, whether they're on that level or not. Because you don't have to be on the level of celebrity to go out here and do heinous shit. Y'all know about these serial killers out here, right? So if I bring them up, I'm using them as an example, a point of reference. Okay? I feel like I got to explain that to y'all because some of y'all don't be getting it. The things we know that we don't want to believe, that is correct. People are overdosing, people are taking themselves up out of here because the frequencies are too high. And I talked to y'all about this, and I told you guys this about a year ago. There was going to be a lot of people out here committing suicide and all types of stuff like that. There's a lot of things that's happening right now that I talked about back in 2020 that's manifesting itself right now. I was just ahead of my time at the time when I was saying the things that I was saying. I saw what I saw. But there's a lot of things that's happening right now. True. There's things I could tell you right now that I know is going to happen, but that might not happen until 5 years from now. So, the quantum karmic cleanse gives you the ability to clear up a lot of things from your past lives, so you can go ahead and you can ascend up out of here. Okay? That's what it does. So you don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over and over and over again and keep coming back here and keep coming back here and keep coming back here. Okay? If you're vibrating high enough, you'll never have to worry about going into quote unquote choosing a false light or anything like that. That won't even happen. That won't even happen. If you're going to reincarnate, you're going to reincarnate here regardless, because it's meant for you to reincarnate here, period, point blank. Some people have been reincarnating here on this planet for so many thousands of years, and they haven't learned their lessons. I want you to sit back and I want you to think about all the people. Let's just talk about my indigenous people. Let's just talk about us for a minute. We know the history of Tuskegee, right? We know the history of Tuskegee. We know what the government has done to people of color. We know about the experimentations. We know about the sterilizations. We know about all the different things that was done to us as a people, right? A prime example of people not learning their lesson. People went and did certain things to themselves over the last 2 years operating out of fear and because they didn't learn their lessons. They chose their vessel over their divinity. They created karma for themselves. They'll be back here. They're coming back here. Because the worst thing you could have ever done was turn against yourself. Two things that motivates a person to go outside of themselves. Again, people went outside of themselves instead of understanding who they are and understanding that they always had the power from within to heal themselves. They went outside of themselves. And the end result of people going outside themselves is what everybody has been watching over the last 2 years. And because they entertain that fear energy, that false evidence appearing real, they entertain that. So the quantum karmic cleanse program gives you the ability to come in and fully heal yourself the way you're supposed to be healed. Not bits and parts of yourself, but all of yourselves. So you become fully whole. At Sydney, you know what's crazy about that statement you said when you said faith without works? You know, faith in itself is a program. Either you know or you don't. That's what Aquarius is about. Either you know or you don't. Aquarius ain't about beliefs. Aquarius ain't about hope. Aquarius ain't about faith. You should have been past that. All y'all should have been past that by now. Right now, people's shadows are currently being judged. The shadow aspect of who you are is currently being judged, whether or not you realize this or not. I hope y'all did your shadow work. A lot of people's shadows are going to be coming to the forefront soon. I hope you did your shadow work. Because based upon how you react during this next couple phases, where you're going to see people wilding out even more, and that's their shadow, it's being judged. Okay? So be careful who you listen to out here. When they tell you things like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, no one can clear your karma, blah, 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 blah. What's the agenda? Are they earthbound? Are they damned? How do you know? Why would they not want you to elevate? Why would they not want to see you elevate? Or do they have the ability to elevate? Are you sure? How do you know? If you don't know, then can you really take a side? Go inward to get your answers. And then you'll know. Go to the heart space and see how it feels. That's how you'll know. When someone is saying something to you, or if you're listening to a speaker, or you're listening to somebody giving out information, go right to the heart space, go right to the divine feminine, the heart space, and say, does this feel right? This doesn't feel right to me for some reason. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to investigate this a little bit more. Or how about simply having the ability to discern people when they're speaking? You guys ain't never heard me tell you that I'm 50 different beings all at once. How many times have you heard people say, and I gotta go here because the shit's funny as hell when you sit back and you think about it. How many people have you heard say, I am the dark angel. I'm an Anunnaki. I ain't nothing to be played with. I'm an Arcturian. I'm an angelic. I am a god. I am this. I'm such and such of this. I am Bliss Black the Third. Okay, bro, pick a side, fam. Like, who are you, fam? When you start seeing people go down that road, like, you got to really know who you are. You'll be consistent with, when you say that this is who you are, you're going to be consistent with what you're saying about who you are. You ain't going to see cats out here jumping ship talking about, well, I'm a dark angel today. And then tomorrow, I'm an Anunnaki. Then the day after that, we're all angels. But you just told us last week we was all gods. Okay, when you start seeing shit like that happen, discern. Discern. Because if I run away from people like that, like they'll never got to worry about hearing from me ever again. I'll unfollow, unsubscribe. You're never going to hear me. You're never going to see me even attempt to listen to anything else you got to say after that, because I don't believe you. But they be having a whole audience listening to this shit. And it'd be the craziest shit, because they be saying things. If you really listen and go back and listen to some of their previous lives, you'll see them saying different shit. So like today, I'm the dark god of such and such, such and such. I ain't to be played with. 2 weeks later, I'm an angelic. A month later, I'm a god. You got to stop listening to shit like that. You got to stop. Like, it's like the people actually follow people like that, but then go against the people who are putting out the real information that's really telling you the real. And it's like really crazy to me, because I can clearly see that the people that are listening to that shit are people that are looking for answers outside of themselves. It's very, very obvious that this is what's going on. So how can anybody take you? I can't take nothing serious that's being said, because I'm seeing how you're having schizophrenia right before my eyes. You're literally having spiritual schizophrenia, cosmic spiritual schizophrenia. This is what you're doing. This is what's happening. So all I'm saying is that if you're going to listen to people, see if it resonates with your heart, see if their message is pretty consistent. You don't have to like some of the things that they're saying. Some of the things they may say may not resonate with you. It could be because you may not know about it. That happens. Well, I've never heard of that before. I'm used to this programming and this programming only. This shit right here that you're talking about is new to me. I never heard of that, so I don't believe you. Okay. But go inside and get your answers. Don't go outside to get your answers. Go inside to get your answers, babies. I'm going to keep saying this message to you over and over and over again until you get it through your head to start thinking for oneself and going in and get your answers. I never told not near one of y'all to put me up on a pedestal. When I dealt with y'all, I always told y'all what you see is what you get. I deal with y'all on a very real level. That's why we can relate to one another. That's why when you say, you seem so familiar to me, that's because everybody, one of our family members has one of us has a family member, an auntie or a mama or a grandmama or somebody like that, that just is just very real, direct, and straight to the point, and ain't going to sugarcoat shit with you or for you. They're just not going to do it. What you see is what you get. People respect that energy. Blowing smoke up people's asses and telling people what they want to hear for you. The ones that have the best intentions for you are going to be the ones that's going to tell you what it is, whether you want to hear it or you don't. And the problem with our people is we'd rather be lied to than be told the truth. Because you will crucify your own people when they tell you the truth. You will crucify them. You will throw them under the bus. You'll talk crazy about them. You'll be so caught up in what the speaker's saying, you're the speaker's #1 cheerleader, but you don't even know what the hell you're defending. Because you don't know who you are. So if you don't know who you are, you don't know who anybody else is. If you don't know who you are, you damn sure don't know who I am. It's impossible. All the people that rock with me are the people that know who they are. The people that don't rock with me are the people who don't know who they are. These people are the ones whose minds are easily manipulated. Someone can just come and tell them anything. Or they'll try to pull in some experience that they're not even looking at correctly and try to tie that in to justify their work. And they want to talk crazy. And they want to discredit you and all that type of shit. I can't take anyone serious if you're operating in an unhealed space. Because I'll know according to your delivery if you're healed. I'll know according to your delivery what type of vibrational frequency you're operating on. If you're operating on a higher vibrational frequency, then you're not even going to fix your mouth to come out on somebody like that. You're not going to do subtle shit either. You're not going to do subtle subliminal shit either. You're not going to take subliminal shots either. You're not going to do that. You're going to be a real, genuine individual, and if you get a problem with someone, you bring it to them. You don't bring it out in the public forum, you bring it to them. If you bring it out in the public forum, you're clout chasing. Real simple. You're clout chasing. Especially if you're coming for someone that's got more followers than you, or that's got a bigger audience than you. You're clout chasing. And let me just say this one thing. I see you guys making a comment about, I saw someone make a comment about Jesus being killed because he spoke the truth. He spoke the truth, meaning that he gave the people the information on how to become gods themselves when he told you that you were gods. And he told you to fast. He told you to meditate. He told you to take care of your vessel. He told you to do all those different things. You weren't listening. When he was turning water into wine, he was showing people that you could do that too. When he was healing people, because humanity on this planet, be clear about something. Here's what I thought about stuff like, damn, humanity has been low vibrational for a very long time. If Olodumare had to send somebody from another star system to come here and teach the people how to tap into who they really are and their powers, and have that person put themselves at risk while they're doing it. And to even further prove my point, look what happened to him. Now, look what happens with humanity now. When people come out and tell you the truth, what happens? People come out and verbally crucify, or they come out, same thing. What's the difference? What's the difference when he was here and coming and teaching the people, and he got crucified then, compared to stuff that's happening now with people who are coming out here and telling you the truth? What's the difference? People don't like the truth. People have been programmed to accept the lie because it's comfortable. But if you get to the truth, then that means your whole foundation and everything that you started with and everything that you built your foundation upon now has to correct. You got to strip that whole thing because you tied your identity to that. Ain't no real preacher gonna come out and tell you these truths. They can't. They developed their whole identity. They built their whole identity behind the lie. Identity. They built their whole identity behind the lie. And they're going to keep that money flowing and keep their shit going to continue to lie to the people for as long as they can until the people wake up and realize that I need more information. I hear what you're saying, but there's some parts of the story all across the USA right now. People are leaving these churches by the drove. People, you don't question God. Of dollars to push a narrative and agenda. People create their karma. No one's calling me. Yeah. If it's stopping and jumping, that means that's just them coming in to interrupt. But it's okay because I got to get off here because I got some things I got to do. All right, y'all. Thank you. So now you know. Bye, y'all.